Hi, I'm Hannah from Work for Yoga, and this is a really short class, especially for you if you've got wrist or shoulder issues and you're looking to fit in a short yoga practice, but it's quite hard to do flow or other yoga classes because so many of them involve your wrists or shoulders. So I've deliberately designed a little flow for you today that takes out the wrist and shoulder action. I've got a couple of different options. So depending on what level of injury and how much pain you're in, please just listen to your body, choose options that feel good for you. And we're going to start in a standing position. So wherever you are, I do recommend, if it's available for you, to taking those shoulders up, back and down, just to help soften them down and allow the hands just to rest in front of you. Tiny bend to the knees. Take a couple of deep breaths just to get yourself centered and ready for your practice on your mat. Drawing the breath into the belly, seeing if you can make that breath a little bit deeper with the inhale. And allow yourself just to settle and relax into the ground with your exhale. Couple more of those. Inhale in, perhaps growing a little bit taller through the spine. Exhale to settle down into the earth. One more of those. Blinking the eyes open, let's get started. So you're going to move yourself to the very top of your mat. And what I would say with this is there's a few different options of what you can do with your hands. So you can have the hands by the side. Perhaps go for hands on hips if that feels okay for you. You could also have the hands in prayer pose. But for some of the poses, it just gives you a little bit less space. Some of them it feels great in too. So you might want to mix it up throughout and kind of change where your hands are, depending on what feels best for your body. So let's start in our mountain pose. Well, I'm going to demonstrate with hands on the side for this round, but I may mix it up during the practice. So take an inhale through your nose, and then you're just going to gently fold forward. Again, slight engagement of the belly, bending through the knees, rolling yourself down. Allow those hands to dangle. If dangling doesn't feel good, you can always bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Pause here for a breath, really press it into the feet, press it into those heels. And then you're going to sink the bum down, coming into a chair pose. So really starting to imagine that you're sitting back in the chair. Your knees are above the ankles, your feet are maximum of shoulder distance apart, so maybe bring them a little bit closer if you need to. Tuck that tummy in. Bring the chest so it's nice and tall if you can. Beautiful. Inhale up, find your mountain pose. We'll do that one more time. So exhale over, finding that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. We pause for a moment here. Exhale. And then inhale, coming into your chair pose. So sink that bum down, bring that chest up. We pause here for a breath. Let's add on this time. So bringing your left heel up and off the earth. Engage through your tummy to help with your stability. You're going to step that foot back, finding yourself in a high lunge. Feet are looking to be on train tracks rather than on a tightrope. So give yourself a little bit of space with the hips rather than making yourself work a little bit harder. From here, you may want to move your hands up into prayer pose. It can help with a little bit for your stability. We pause for one more breath, pressing through that back heel, really feeling the stretch through the legs, bringing the hands back to the hips perhaps, step the foot back to the front, coming back to your chair pose. So sinking that bum down, facing that chest towards the front, exhale over, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. And then roll yourself all the way up, finding yourself at the top of your mat. Let's do the same thing on the opposite side. So starting from mountain pose, inhale here. Exhale over, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Take a breath as you exhale, stay here, press through the heels. And then we're going to sink the bum down, inhale up to chair pose. Pausing here, checking in with yourself. I know it's a hard pose. And then you're going to come up onto the right toes this time, so lifting that right heel up, engage through the tummy muscles, step that right foot back, find the feet in train tracks as we come to find our high lunge on this side. If you can keep your left knee tracking above the ankle, you can see if you can make your stance a little bit longer. I was just noticing mine was going across there. That is best practice. One more breath. And then we're stepping the back foot to meet the front, coming to find the chair pose. Lovely. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. And then this time press into the heels, gently roll yourself up. See if you can add a little spinal roll in as you roll yourself up to find your mountain pose. Beautiful. So we're going to add on now, turn it into a bit more of a full sun salutation, if you will. Obviously no shoulders, no wrists. I'm giving you some different alternatives this time. So starting from the mountain pose, inhale here, nice and tall through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Bend those knees to take the edge off the back. Inhale, halfway lift. We pause for a breath as we exhale. And then inhale, come to your chair pose. Engage through the tummy, press that bum back and down. See if you can look at your toes over just in front of the knees. Coming up onto the left toes, raising that heel up. We step back into our high lunge on this side. So pressing back with that left heel. Option to bring the hands into prayer position now if you like. We pause for a breath. And then we're going to bring the knee down now to the ground. So coming to find a low lunge, option to untuck those back toes if you like. Shunting the hips forward towards the front. Again, you can play with your stance here as you need. And then for those familiar with your sun salutation, we're going to come through a very wrist and shoulder friendly version of our chaturanga. So bringing the hands out in front. You're going to bring those shoulders back and around. And imagine that you're pressing the air away. So really engaging. So I'm looking to give you a little bit of mobility in this area, but without putting any pressure on both the wrists and the shoulders. So you're just going to press up and away a couple of times. Imagine like you're doing air push-ups. Beautiful. Next time the hands come back, bringing them back and around, this time so that the palms are facing down towards the bum and they're just at that kind of flat bit of the back. You're going to bring the the front foot to meet the back foot, coming into a kneeling pose, and we're going to press those hips forward, finding a little camel pose. So nice little opening through the chest. Imagine that you're coming through a little cobra here, perhaps. So that's what we're trying to create, that kind of up and over with the spine. One more breath. Beautiful. And then from here, you have a couple of options. So I would suggest for many of us coming down onto our forearms, so be careful on your way down, finding yourself in a kind of box-like position, so hips underneath, hips over knees, and you're looking for your elbows to be roughly in line with your shoulders. You can have the hands together, palms flat on the ground, whatever feels good for you. And then you're going to bring that left foot out and pause here, engage through the core. Stretching out through the left foot. And do the same thing on the opposite side. So this is our equivalent of our downward facing dog. We're looking to get the leg stretch with this. I'm going to release that foot down. If you're at a different stage of injury or you are able to experiment, perhaps it's more of a wrist thing, so maybe your shoulders are okay, then you could also try dolphin pose. So that's with your forearms flat on the earth. You come up onto your toes, press those hips up and back. So creating a little V shape. Keep those knees nice and bent and then start straightening them out until you get a stretch. Press those hips up and back. It's quite strong on the shoulders, so I probably would say if you've got a shoulder injury, not so suitable, but you have a choice therefore between dolphin and this version. So our foot back pose when we come through for the next time. When you're ready, we're going to gently come back up. So bringing ourselves back to our kneeling position, and this time we are bringing the right foot forward, shunting the hips towards the front, and then we are going to come back through the way that we came out. So we've got to tuck those back toes under, come and find that high lunge, engage through the core to help with your stability, press through the whole of the front foot. And then you're going to step towards the front, find yourself in your chair pose. Beautiful. We're going to exhale down into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. And then bending through those knees, rolling yourself up fully through the spine, working your way up to the very top of the mat. So let's do that one more time on the opposite side, just for balance. And then you're very welcome to kind of work through that motion as many times as you want as a little flow, bringing in your breath and movement. So this is the right side. So let's start with inhaling through the nose, nice tall spine. Exhale over, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale here as you press into your heels. Inhale, come up to find your chair pose. Engage through the tummy. This time we're raising the right heel off the floor, coming up onto those right toes, stepping the right foot back. So again, play with that stance so that the front knee is over the front ankle. Have a little fiddle, option to bring yourself into prayer, arms, if that works for you. We pause here, just really pressing away with the right heel, feeling that stretch through the hip. Lovely. When you're ready, you're going to lower the back knee down to the earth, perhaps untucking those toes if it's more comfortable for you. Press those hips towards the front. Beautiful. We're coming to find our air chaturanga now, so bringing the arms out to the side, press away, press back. So see if you can bring those elbows in towards the sides. So we can work up here, but that tends to be a little bit more up in the shoulders. What I'd like you to do is see if you can bring the arms back and out. Beautiful. The next time they're back, bringing the hands to the back of the body, palms facing down onto that flat bit of the back, bringing the front foot to meet the back, press the hips forward and come up and over into your supported camel pose. See if you can really engage through your bum here. And it's like you're lifting your chest up and over a barrel if you want to go a little bit further with that back bend. Lovely. Gently coming up and out of that pose, we move forward either into our dolphin pose. If you want to go and find that, you're very welcome. Otherwise, I'm going to work both with the stretch on either side. So we will bring the right foot back, press away into that right heel, again engage through the core. Bringing that knee down, coming across to the opposite side, left foot back, finding that stretch down the back of the leg. Lovely. Coming back to center, rolling yourself up. We're going to bring the left foot forward this time. Press the heels towards the front. Tuck those back toes under. Find yourself in your high lunge. We pause here for a breath. Engage through the core, step the back foot to meet the front into your chair pose. Lovely. Hard transition that, so you need a lot of core strength for it. Well done. Exhale over, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. And then gently press into the heels to roll yourself up. Eventually coming to the top of your mat. And from here, we'll just finish off with a gentle forward fold. So if it's available for you, you're going to engage slightly from the tummy and gently roll yourself over, hinging from the hips. When you're here, if it's comfortable, you're just going to allow the hands to soften, take a little nod and shake of the head. See if you can just really let go of any tension in the upper body. And coming back to your deep breath. When you're ready, rolling yourself up. Rolling those shoulders up, back and down. Give yourself a big round of applause. Well done for doing that. Especially if you've got an injury, it's great to keep yourself active. I hope you enjoyed the sequence and I hope to see you again very soon.